What is an island? What is a rock? These fundamental questions may sound facetious, but such technicalities are central to the Rockall maritime boundary dispute. Desolate, uninhabited, and aesthetically unappealing, Rockall is situated in the North Atlantic Ocean. Despite its apparent insignificance, 4 nations lay claim to the islet, these being Denmark, Iceland, the Republic of Ireland, and the United Kingdom. Despite the large-scale decolonisation of the British Empire, Rockall became Britain's last territorial expansion in 1955, during a time when the nation was relegated to regional power status. However, whilst Britain was demoted on the world stage, its relationship with the United States allowed it to procure nuclear weapons. Rockall was within radio-electrical range of a test site in the Outer Hebrides for Britain's burgeoning nuclear programme, so it became a point of interest. Moreover, the Secretary of the Admiralty was told that Rockall might well be used by an unfriendly state as a vantage point for the observation of activities upon the test range. Britain's relegation as a superpower coincided with the emergence of the Soviet Union as the United States challenger, and the USSR was clearly the unfriendly state in this case. Britain's final territorial expansion was not due to traditional imperial manoeuvres of securing material territory, but one of it adapting to the changing European hegemony. Little did the country know, the tiny islet and its surrounding waters would become an international dispute decades later. On the surface, Rockall is barren, aside from plenty of seagull guano, but the waters around the islet create a channel for economic potential. The would-be exclusive economic zone around Rockall holds large amounts of oil and natural gas, believed to be buried in the continental shelf, which could amount to $160 billion. Article 121 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea states that rocks which cannot sustain human habitation or economic life of their own shall have no exclusive economic zone or continental shelf. The international ratification of UNCLOS set back imperial ambitions and shifted the debate from one about claiming territory to one focused on claiming the adjoining seabed. The main point of contention in the dispute is between Ireland and the United Kingdom. However, both Denmark, through the Faroe Islands, and Iceland claim part of the Hatton-Rockall Basin as an extension of their continental shelves. Denmark has gone as far as describing the basin as the Faroe-Rockall microcontinent, being indicative of their claim as an extension of their continental shelf. Both Iceland and Denmark also take issue with the UK's 2009 application to extend its continental shelf in order to gain rights for explorative activities on the seabed. In the 1970s, Scotland imposed a 12 nautical mile territorial zone around Rockall, but Ireland never recognised this claim. This continues to allow Scotland and the UK to exploit the waters for living and non-living resources, and no foreign vessels are allowed to enter the zone aside from claiming the right to innocent passage. Irish fishermen have been accused of intruding in this zone, and these instances have resulted in intense discussions between the Scottish and Irish governments to resolve the situation. During the discussions, Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar reiterated that Rockall should be part of EU waters, allowing equal access for the vessels of all EU member states. This is a key tenet of the EU's common fisheries policy, and having exited the European Union, the UK does not subscribe to this, adding another point of contention. Unsurprisingly, at first, the UK refused to accept the rules of the Common Fisheries Policy in 1971, but eventually gave in. It's unknown whether the presence of Rockall had any impact on the initial refusal, and Ireland's claim of equal access held greater strength when the UK was an EU member. Now that the UK has completed its exit transition period and is no longer subscribed to the Common Fisheries Policy, it continues to hold that the 1955 expedition is the source of its sovereignty. Despite its relatively small landmass in comparison to other global powers, the UK does boast the world's 5th largest exclusive economic zone due to its overseas territories, and Rockall provides the United Kingdom with a prized possession in the North Atlantic, particularly as Brexit has muddied the fishing waters with its European neighbours. Hypothetically speaking, as mentioned before, if Britain were to claim that Rockall was an island, it could have made the case that it was entitled to a 200 nautical nautical mile exclusive economic zone. However, the UK ratified UNCLOS 15 years after it had been open to signature in 1997, and acknowledged Rockall's status as an islet, thus renouncing any claim to an EEZ around it. However, the question of whether the UK holds rights to the continental shelf remains, which could impact whether Britain conducts explorative exercises with regards to oil and natural gas. Moreover, the future of Rockall remains uncertain, as the prospect of Scottish independence could muddy the North Atlantic waters further. Should an independent Scotland be accepted as a new EU member, it would have to subscribe to the Common Fisheries Policy, and, therefore, the waters surrounding Rockall would become EU waters. This could prove to be an interesting point of contention within the European Union, as Scotland has been Britain's mouthpiece for its dispute with Ireland, taking more aggressive stances than its neighbours. And, finally, Scottish independence aside, as we have seen in mid-2021 with the events of the post-Brexit fishing dispute off the coast of the Channel island of Jersey, fishing rights have become a point of contention between the UK and EU in a post-Brexit world, and, perhaps, Rockall could be the next flashpoint.